Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Star Chronicles Dallas Cowboys podcast. I'm Troy Hill. Got Kyle and Lisa with me, and we're all excited because we're celebrating another Cowboys victory, 30-10 against the New York Jets. What are your thoughts about the game, Lisa?
I loved the win, of course. I feel like the scary part, and as a Cowboy fan, y'all know, everybody knows, I'm excited for the win, but I'm cautiously optimistic. It's like, I'm like kind of like the national media. Okay, that's all fine and great, but show me this type of play in late January. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy and I'm content because you've got to get the wins to get to that point. But I feel like we also left a lot of meat on the bone. Like,
absolutely.
So, but I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be 2-0. That's
bottom line. I totally get your concern, Lisa. It makes complete sense to me. But I still look at the 70 points, 70 points put on the board and, only allowing 10 points in week 2 is still kind of like a real goofy spot, because it's kind of like I'm looking at these numbers, but then again, I'm also thinking about, well, we've been here sort of before, which I'm sure we'll talk about sometime in this show, about being potentially 3-0 and then all of a sudden instantly a snap of finger turning into 3-3. But what's your thoughts on the game overall, Kyle?
Yeah, I agree. They got to prove it in January, but you got to start building that foundation. Mm-hmm. This is the time to do it. You know what I mean? This is a team you should have, without Aaron Rodgers, this is a team you should have beat. You know what I mean? There was games last year. Didn't we barely beat the Texans in like week 15 or something like that? Mm-hmm. Like barely beat the Texans. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. Like that was late in the season. So like, this is the time where you want to be, I'm not saying showing out, but you got to be just laying that foundation of, we're the bullies on the block right now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yes. And, so yeah, I mean, like I said, this was a game they should have won, with Zach Wilson playing quarterback. So and they did. So I can't, I'm happy. Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, I agree. I do. I understand is everybody wants to see the Cowboys just blowing the doors off of every damn thing in sight right now. I mean, people are excited, but at the same time, I think you gotta be a little strategic. You gotta act like this is like a poker game and stuff. I'm not gonna beat you with all my solid cards. I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of these pairs or these low-level pairs throughout the game, throughout the season I can, without giving away too much stuff for film for other teams to study. What's your thoughts on that, Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like they've opened up the whole book yet because they haven't had to. Like, they sure didn't have to week 1, for sure. There was no need. Just do what you got to do. When the defense and special teams scores that much. I saw a statistic today that said the top 3 fantasy scoring entities through 2 weeks. It's the receiver from the Rams. It's another receiver. And then the Dallas special teams and defense. And, if you've ever played fantasy, and it was a meme and it had Stephen A. Smith's face at the bottom, like, what the hell? But it's like, I like the way we all talked about. I mean, I think there was concern going in about Mike McCarthy calling the plays, but I feel like he did. I feel like finally they're playing to Dak's strengths. Like, they're not trying to make Dak be somebody he's not. And so I feel like he's been very conservative so far. Like, let's just get our feet wet with this new system and then open up the playbook, because you're going to have to. You're going to have to open it up in 3 weeks when you play the 49ers. You're going
absolutely.
to have to.
Absolutely. And I mean, it kind of in terms of not having a preseason with some of our major players, it's kind of like they're going through the progression right now. I mean, one thing that I've noticed on Dak Prescott, it seems that he's actually moving faster. He's going through his progressions a little bit faster. And I know that they said that they worked on his footwork a lot during the offseason. What's your thoughts on that, Kyle? Have you noticed any type of improvement on Dak Prescott so far this year?
I feel like and it's hard to gauge because of the weather conditions in week 1. And plus, like, so we got up to such a fast start. But like, at one point, he was 13 for 13. You know what I mean? And I don't care if they're 5-yard passes or 7-yard passes, because what happened last year is Kellen Moore would, call a play for a long bomb on, like, it'd be like a 30-yard pass and it'd be incomplete. You know what I mean? And then the next play would be a run for 3 yards, and then it's 3rd and long again. You know what I mean? There was he never I just feel like under Kellen Moore, there was never any flow or rhythm. We've talked about this. There was no flow to the game. It was like button mashing a 13-year-old playing Madden. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but it made no sense. It's just like, okay, I'm going to be cute. I'm going to be cute
Yeah,
this play for no
exactly.
damn reason.
So it was nice to see him just, like I said, start the game 13 for 13. They marched down the field methodically and scored that in the opening against arguably a top 3 defense in the league. You know what I mean? And so I think it's good for his confidence. It's good for CeeDee Lamb's confidence. You know what I mean? Feed him the ball. Just feed him the damn ball. You know what I mean?
CeeDee Lamb's a damn monster. That one catch he had, and he snagged that ball in and covered, tucked it in real quick and got flipped over. That was pretty damn incredible.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you're going to give us 5 yards pass attempt, I'll take it all day. Shit, I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't need 30-yard bombs every day. I don't need the air raid. I don't care.
This is one part of something I wish our fan base would just let go. I mean, I could give, in the famous words of Calvin Candy, I could give a ticker's damn if they're throwing 4 to 5 yard passes going up and down the field. I don't care if they're nickel and diamond. It does a bunch of different things. If they're incorporating that with running, you're melting the clock. You're literally taking time off the clock. I mean,
they held the ball for 42 minutes. I think I saw it was 42 minutes.
Yeah.
I've never seen an offense hold the ball for 42 minutes.
Yeah, you can nickel and dime all damn day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, because at the end of the day, you do get 4 downs, and if you're getting 4 yards on the first 3 downs, you're going to move the sticks.
Exactly.
It's easy math. For those that aren't good at math, 4 times 3 is 12, which is more than 10.
Yep, that's arithmetic, boys and girls.
Yeah, you get all things with this podcast. We're gonna do math. We're gonna, But the thing did y'all see? Have y'all watched the Sounds from the Sideline yet?
No, not yet. No.
I just watched it right before because I wanted to see if there were any nuggets in there. And sure enough, there were. And this is a microcosm when we're talking about the offense. So after the game, Sauce Gardner came up and was shaking hands with Dak or whatever. And he was like to Dak, he was like, why didn't you throw the corner to my side? And Dak said, because I didn't have to.
Exactly.
That's a prime example. You saw what was working, and that's what I loved about Sunday. Mike saw what was working, and he just kept. It's like Novocaine, just give it time. It always works. If it's working, don't veer from that. Don't go to the stupid razzle dazzle double reverse stupid that loses 3 yards every time. Just keep doing what's working. Throw it. Tony Pollard played well. Rico Dowdle played well.
Absolutely.
Even little bitty Deuce Vaughn, he played well.
Absolutely.
You got all these weapons, and the crazy part is, and then also from the Sounds from the Sideline, the coolest part was CD was he and Dak were talking, and CD was like, dude, just take your time and do what you want. He was giving Michael Gallup, hey, try this. But it's just when that is working, ride it until the wheels fall off.
Absolutely.
And that's what they did. And it was just a steady dose of it. Remember how we've talked about on this podcast before, that feel of when we would show up at a game, we knew we were better than you, offensive line especially. But I felt like on Sunday, once they figured out that they weren't going to send Sauce with CD, it was all right, well, if y'all aren't going to make an adjustment, we're just going to beat you.
I know.
And the oddball thing is,
over and over.
And the oddball thing too is about that guy. He always lines up on that side. It doesn't matter what offense the team is bringing. It doesn't matter who's on the offense.
He only plays one side. Yep.
No matter what. So I don't know. I don't understand how you can do that and still be a dominant defense as they claim. Any concern about only putting up 30 points? Because I know there was some issues that we kind of discussed in our group chat just about play selection in the red zone. I'll let you take that, Kyle.
I will say this. I was disappointed, but in perspective, I think I saw something in the past 2 years. The Jets defense has only given up 30 points or more once, or twice. I'm sorry, twice. So it's I can appreciate. I mean, I can't really shit on a team that scores 30 points in the NFL. You know what I mean? That's decent, but there was a point where we got down there. I think there was one point we're down to the 1 yard line and we couldn't punch it in. I mean, because there were some really dumb plays. Like why are we doing like a jet sweep with a tight end? You know what I mean? Like that made no
Yeah.
sense to me. You know what I mean? Like
No,
that
no, I
made no
get that.
sense.
No, I get
Like
that.
like if you're gonna do that play, run that play with Turpin. You know what I mean? Because he'll plant his foot and cut and go up the field. You know what I mean? He kept running outside.
Yeah,
Like
or cut under or do something.
exactly. It was just and then there were some other plays where it's like, all right, well, why are we throwing the ball 3 straight times? Let's mix it up. I just
Hmm.
I don't know. Like they could have easily scored 40, and I know I'm sounding greedy right now, but like that's all. Like I'm nitpicking. You know what I mean? And maybe
Yeah.
they
Right.
wanted to see what would work and what wouldn't work. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
but
What?
they scored 30 points on an elite defense. I can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's your thoughts, Lisa Lee?
Yeah, it's the same. Like I felt like that's where if you've got to find something to like Kyle said, like to nitpick, like that's it. Like it could have easily been a 40, it could have easily been 40, 45 points. And
Mm-hmm.
the people, the non-Cowboy fans, the haters the week before were like, well, it's easy for your offense when your defense scores 19 or 20 or whatever it was. So
Hmm.
then this week I said, okay, what are y'all going to say now? Because my defense didn't score a point. Now, that being said, the defense did a lot of work because they kept giving the ball back to the offense. And at some point, I don't want it to become a problem because like Micah is so just obsessed with the win and whatever. He's going to start to get frustrated when we're giving you the ball back. We gave you the ball back 4 times and you couldn't score a touchdown and all that because a lot of those turnovers too were inside the red zone or pretty
Yes.
dang close. Like
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have to figure that out. And again, I heard a thing, I think it was Brian brought us yesterday or day before. He's like, at that point when you were up by more than, when it was like, I think it was probably 21-10 or whatever, you as soon as you made it a 3-score game, a field goal still made it a 3-score game. And so you
Hmm.
could, then you could try new things. You could try to see if that's going to work. Okay, yeah, the tight ends are slower than Cavante Turpin, so
Mm-hmm.
let's not do that. Or maybe
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
it was. It was just we know we're going to get the 3. Let's see
Mm-hmm.
if something else weird would work. Because then
Hmm.
you're
Mm-hmm.
also putting tape out there that's going to make them. I mean, it didn't work, obviously, but
Hmm.
they're going to say, okay, well, they might do that, and it might,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
know. I just think we left a lot of meat on the
eh,
bone in that
Yeah.
regard.
Yeah. And I think going for the 2 actually changed that
Yeah,
thought process too.
I like
You
that.
know,
Yeah.
so I thought that also helped because I wasn't expecting that. What the penalty and then say, okay, we're gonna move up the extra yard and just try and go for 2 at that point. So, well, did that put us at 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, that I thought that was really, really important as well. Any concerns about? I'm happy as hell with our running back situation. Saw a post that kind of stuck out on Facebook that kind of cracked me up. This is the time when you really need Zeke Elliott for those short yardage. I'm like,
Oh Jesus.
and my mind was, did you watch the game the week before where Tony Pollard had? Well, let me first ask,
He scored. Pollard
what,
ran in the 2 point conversion, right? He got the 2 points on the 2 point
yeah,
conversion. That was Pollard, right?
that was Pollard. And then the week before he had like 2 short yardage touchdowns, correct?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I need to find what the defined term of short yardage is. I believe it was below 5 yards, and it was actually below 3.
Mhm. Like,
So
I'll
I
say
don't
this.
get it.
It's once again, this was arguably a top 3 defense. Arguably, you know what I mean? I
Uh
think it's
huh.
us, San Fran, and the Jets. Like,
Hmm.
and he still had 70 something rushing yards, and you know what I mean? Like, and the 2 point conversion. And
And
for
they
all the
had him on
people
a
out
pitch
there,
count. Like they were
yeah,
watching his snaps because
and
he's
and for all
never
the people
done
who
this.
can't let go of Zeke, Zeke has 0 touchdowns this season. He rushed for 13 yards 2 nights ago. 13 yards. So let act like he's scoring 15 touchdowns this season. Like
Exactly.
he's not doing anything.
I
He's
mean,
done.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a Zeke Elliott fan, but I'm not. I'm not hanging on to that. I mean,
I
what
know.
you guys know me is like once you take that cowboy jersey off,
I'm the same way.
yeah,
I'm done with you. Yeah.
you've kind of
Yeah.
just died to me.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
well, bye.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely don't have no concern about our running backs. The only question to play that I had was when on Dak almost threw the pick, and you could clearly see that he kind of was hesitant, and
he double pumped. Like had he thrown it on his first gut,
he would have been all right.
Sauce, he probably completes it, and Sauce is maybe late. Like but that's that one hesitation. It almost that could have been. I think that I still don't think that changes the outcome. I think it changes the feel of the game.
Yeah. But it could have been a 14-point swing out of nowhere, 14-10, Jets are up. It wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game in my mind. Well, we talked about the offense. What do you guys think about just the defense in general, Lisa?
I thought it was amazing. Like it's fun to be in this seat for once where you legit know that, for lack of a better phrase, shit's about to get blown up. Like it's giddy having not even just a good defense, like a ridiculous defense. It's just fun. And the football games are more fun when you have a defense like this, for sure.
Yeah, it's just that they close in so damn quick, and so you often get these comparisons, or like a lot of old school football heads, they'll tell you about Micah Parsons. They remind of Lawrence Taylor or whatever, and this guy is like still like way faster than what Lawrence Taylor was. I mean, Lawrence Taylor was like running like a damn near a 4.7, to 40. I mean, and Micah Parsons was running 4.3. I mean, this guy's like blazing fast, and the way he contorts his body on angles going around linemen is just ridiculous.
And he's lining up in every spot. Like he made a guard look foolish the other day. Like, and it's just the best play to me on defense though was Osa got a sack, but it wasn't like a wrap him up type sack. Osa basically just strong-armed, one arm threw Zach Wilson to the ground, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah,
he's really strong.
These guys are out for blood. Like Leighton Vander Esch, he laid the wood to some damn buddy. I was like, man, it was just crazy. What's your thoughts, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean it's just so different than what we're used to. You know what I mean? Like I think gone are the days where we had to score 40 points and win games, 42-37. You know what I mean? At least I think so. You know what I mean? Like, again, we played Daniel Jones and Zach Wilson, but I feel like, it's something, like I said, I don't care how you win. You know what I mean? If we got to win games 12-9, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, a win is a win.
Less. Absolutely.
But it's kind of crazy that we're able to do that. You know what I mean? And because we've seen games where Dak has to throw for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns and be perfect because the defense is going to lose the game at a, how many times have you seen this defense let up a touchdown right before halftime? And then a field goal, a game-winning field goal right before the end of the game. You know what I mean? Like, and then we all criticize Dak because he didn't make that one throw. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that one throw.
Exactly.
But we're going to complain about the one throw, but we're not going to complain about the 2 15-yard penalties and stuff that all of a sudden just switch the downs back around. I mean,
so it's nice. It's refreshing. You know what I mean? Like Lisa said, it's nice to have a scary defense because at least everyone always says defense travels. You know what I mean? That's what everyone says. So, I mean, if we got to go on the road, at least I know my defense is showing up. You know what I mean?
Right. So. I do have one question, and see if it caused y'all any kind of concern. And again, now it's on tape. So the same way other teams can look at it, we can too and correct it. The Jets kind of finally figured out that if Zach would step up kind of in the pocket a little bit and just take off running, he was going to get 4 or 5 yards once he got past that initial push. And they did that concern. Kind of multiple times in a row.
I don't know if that was like a form of almost self-containment because you notice that's all he had was a run up.
Right. But if those like it's kind of like that first game, I can't remember who we played, and they were like, we're just going to run, they weren't trying to run away from Micah. They were running right at him. And it was very effective last year. I can't remember which game it was, but it's like, okay, that's an exposure a little bit because I think it's because, and I've never played football, so I don't know for sure, but my assessment of it was the front 7, they're getting upfield so fast that like then it leaves nobody kind of in the middle of the defense, especially when they're playing zone and on the backside. It's like, but I'll give up 4 yards a couple of times than to tighten it up and get a pick, because that's exactly what happened. Like he did that a couple of times and then he threw an interception. So like, I don't know. I didn't know if that caused y'all any.
No, well, I gotta recall. So did he slide or did he actually get hit?
I remember a couple of times.
Yeah, because I remember the series. I'm just trying to see, because to me it just looked like they had everything so contained where that was the only option he had. So he's gonna end up someone's gonna put a body on him regardless. If you're giving up 3 or 4 yards or 5 yards. And when you're dealing with a quarterback like Zach Wilson, the end result is going to be an interception, which happened like a few plays later.
Right.
So I don't know.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't want to be that girl that's like, I can't be so ignorant, like some of the fan base, to think we're never going to give up a yard. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to happen. There are
absolutely.
But I've gotten so spoiled already these first 2 games where it was like, it was like 6 quarters or 5 quarters with no points, and but the Giants did move the ball at will. I think that was kind of just because we hadn't played in the preseason, but that very first series. But that was my only thing with the defense, was like, is that a thing, or is that just, like you said, almost survival? Zach Wilson just got in survival mode.
Yeah. I mean, what do you guys think about the touchdown in general? I look at it as like a fluke. I mean, to me, there was a breakdown, which a breakdown is going to happen in professional football. You're not going to be, you're not going to be going full-fledged on cylinders for the whole game. There's also going to be a breakdown somewhere. I just look at it that's what I look at that touchdown as, really.
And it was Garrett Wilson. Like, he is one of to me, he's one of the best receivers in the league. So it's like, I don't want him to score, but it happened, and that was it. It stopped right after that.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of just go on. But we have a big game next week. Well, I'm kind of joking, but
I was like,
but I mean, it's a game, right? It's a Cardinals, and with everything we've seen so far, we should beat the brakes off this damn team. No questions asked. What are you guys' thoughts? Do you guys have any concerns? Because I want you guys. I know you guys have. I know Lisa kind of briefly mentioned it last week with the Jets game, because I think this all happened in the same season when they were. And I know I got a spot in it, because I remember when the Cowboy fan base was going to go down to the New Orleans and march down the Mardi Gras, march down whatever the hell they got down there and take over New Orleans, and we got punched in the face. You guys have any concerns just about we're sky high right now? We're all excited. I mean, but we also know how a team could, we could very well be 3-0. Still doesn't mean anything this early in the season, and it could end up turning bad very, very quick. Do you guys have that concern with this team, or it's just safe to say that this is just a different team altogether? Yeah, either one of you guys can take that.
I'm not concerned. I mean, I think the Cardinals have the worst roster in the league, arguably. And I don't think I mean, their quarterback is Josh Dobbs. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's made 4 career starts.
I don't even know who Josh Dobbs is. You could tell me he works at the Old Navy.
He was on the Steelers practice squad for like 3 seasons. He was with the Titans for 2 games last year. He's with the Browns for like 3 weeks of the preseason. Like, he's a journeyman 3rd string backup. You know what I mean? And I think who's out? Isn't Budda Baker out? They ruled him out already. He's hurt. So I mean, they got nothing going for them.
I thought they released him. Didn't they release him?
No, I forget. Someone from the Cardinals is hurt. That a starter. Like, they're no good. You know what I mean? They blew a 20-point lead to the Giants. It was 20-0 at one point. You know what I mean? Like, they're no good. So I just. Yeah, I'm not concerned at all.
I just can't see anything. I mean, I've already forgot the guy's name. What did you say his name was? Luke Dobbs?
Josh Dobbs.
Lou Dobbs. I mean, it just sounds like a guy that's like on Beverly Hills 90210 or some crap. But anyways, any concerns, Lisa Lee?
I mean, I don't want to have concerns,
but Tell us the tale of 3-0, Lisa.
It's just one of those. I mean, I don't think this one will be as trappy as the following week, because the following week has trap game written all over it, because then the following week after that is when you play the 49ers. And so this one, I feel like I don't, there on paper, no, Kyle is absolutely right. On paper, it shouldn't be close. But there, and maybe hopefully this will show me a lot. Because like Kyle said, you just got to win the ones you're supposed to win. And I am greedy, but I want to win the ones that I'm supposed to win by a lot. Like I want this one to be a blowout, because
it will be. I think it will be.
And I want the next week to be a blowout too. I want it to be saucy going into San Francisco game. But they struggled with the Rams in the first half. So it's like,
we need some momentum going into this to the 49ers game.
Because I'm sorry, the 49ers have become what Green Bay used to be to this team. It's like the Achilles heel. Like we cannot, I think it's a mental thing now. They were overhyped last year and they got their ass handed to them again. And I think if they can get over this mental hurdle in the regular season, I think it goes long, long ways if they have to meet them again in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it'll be one of those victories where you accept it for what it is, but you still kind of keep it like in the back of your mind as you go forward, and then if you do play them again, in the playoffs, you're like, well, we've already beat you, so let's move on from here. Because what I don't want them to do is to end up, say if they do win, I mean, which they will win against the Cardinals, and what is it, the Patriots the next game after that, and then you got the Niners. I mean, I would like to have that 5-0, but I just wanted to. I don't know. I just want them I don't want them to get too far ahead of themselves. But I think this team's a lot more mature than recent years. I haven't heard no hot boy chants or anything like that, or war daddies and stuff lately. So.
But with this defense, it wouldn't bother me at all. Like, you deserve a nickname. The other ones did not. Like, that's the difference. I mean, Hot Boys is kind of cheesy, but
I thought that was the dumbest stuff
out there. If you're playing like this, if you've allowed 10 points in 2 games, you can Hot Boy War Daddy yourself to death. I don't care.
I'm down for it. They just change the names. That can't be Hot Boy. We're the War Daddies. Let's go wear our commemorative jackets and with our names on them. But they need to change it with something. But
it's just a really weird. I don't know if y'all feel this way. Like, I know we had good defenses in the past, but I don't know that I was fully aware. And like, even the teams in the 90s, it was more offense centered. You know what I mean?
It's not like this. This is like close to the 70s.
It feels weird. It feels weird to me. And I don't know why.
No, because these guys got the damn thirst. These guys it's like a little drop of blood in that football field. And they're all sharks, every last one of them. It's all led by Micah. Micah. He's the Michael Jordan. He's like you said, the Michael Parsons effect. It's him. He makes everybody want to ball out.
Yeah, it's crazy, but even and when you know the story about how he came to be here, it's funny. Like, it wasn't on purpose. I mean, they did obviously pick him, but if I stand on that too. Like, if either one of the corners, we've talked about this before, if either one of those 2 corners had were still available, Micah's not here.
No,
and we all know that. So it's just, I'm grateful that he is here, because even I was wrong. I was like, oh no, we don't need another linebacker. But
this is a whole damn man right here. I don't even know if you can just call him by position. Just call him, we've drafted a man.
A grown man.
Yep, a grown ass damn man. So anyways, as always, it's great talking about Dallas Cowboy football. If you guys happen to have a question and enjoy the podcast, don't hesitate to send us an email at tscdallascowboypodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's tscdallascowboypodcast@gmail.com. You have any final words for the people, Lisa?
Well, it's my job to be the, not really the pessimist, but, to always be the cautiously optimistic one, and then say, okay, that was fun. I was wrong. They did win by 40. Like, yay. But this group, I love having these conversations with you guys because yeah, we all root for the same team or whatever, but we all have very different perceptions of the game and views on the game, and we're not afraid to get in the mix. I wish that we could share some of our DMs because sometimes we go at it in those. And I wanted to say to you guys, like, I'm all about giving flowers. I appreciate you guys and the conversations that we have and the discussions that we have. And it's good. It's just fun. So I appreciate you both.
Yep, I really, really appreciate that, Lisa. And what about? And I share the same sentiment. I don't talk about Cowboy football. I mean, I talk about it, but I'm selective on who I talk to it about. Which is kind of strange because I can't do the pie in the sky imagination conversations and not knowing about the salary cap conversations and let's get this, that, or the other. I can't do any of that anymore because I'm just too old for it. But I appreciate you guys as well. What's your thoughts, Kyle? You got any final words?
Yeah, no, so far this has been a really cool start to the season. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the past couple of years have been choppy with everyone's schedule and, personal shit going on. So it's been fun. You know what I mean? Like, I tell everybody I work with, I can't, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to go home. They're like, you do a podcast? I'm like, yeah, I do a podcast, a bunch of Cowboys fans. And, it's just, like I said, because I'm like you guys, I'll scroll on Instagram, but I don't ever comment because I cannot stand arguing with, the 14-year-old high school sophomore that thinks he's seen more football than anybody. You know what I mean? Because he plays Madden. You know what I mean? And is in 4 fantasy leagues. Like, this isn't fantasy. This isn't Madden. You know what I mean? Like, I can't deal with that type of shit. I mean, I don't like the hot takes. Like,
and I can't do the edit and stuff where I flip the jersey to make it somebody's on a different team. I can't do all that. I can't do all that pie in the sky. I just don't have the time.
So it's like, it's nice to be able to talk to actual Dallas fans that know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? So it's been fun so far.
I totally agree. And what's the running back's name for the Jets again? I forgot what was his name.
Breece Hall
and Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook. Yeah, that was the guy we were supposed to try and trade for and everything, right? Yeah, him and his 7 yards. Anyways,
Micah took the whole ball away from him.
Yes,
mid play.
I mean, yeah, that was the armchair Dallas Cowboy fan. Like, we gotta make a move, Jerry. Kick the tires, do something.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry's like, yeah, you guys just sit back. I got this under control.
So. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut on occasion. He found himself a kicker, and he found himself a backup running back by committee that is working like a freaking charm. So,
and not to get too morbid, but like last night's injury is why you and Saquon Barkley and Nick Chubb is why you don't pay running backs. I'm sorry, I hate to say it because I sound like an asshole, but like Barkley sprained an ankle. He's playing on an $11 million contract. Nick Chubb is, he wants to get paid. It's why you don't pay running backs. I know that makes me sound like an asshole, but like that position is too just volatile. You know what I mean? You can't, it's.
Well, and Nick Chubb's injury, that very well could end his career because it's
exactly
the same
thing in college
that he blew out at Georgia. So
you're right.
And even with Barkley, how many times has Barkley missed 3-4 games with a sprained ankle in his career? This is like the 4th time. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. So
the thing is too, someone will be like, well, Zeke didn't miss. I'm like, well, Zeke played injured and stuff. So what's the difference between playing injured or sitting out? I mean, you're still not being
he played productive. Injured and I love Zeke. He's one of my favorite all-time favorites. But like, I'm thinking about going to the Patriots game just because he's going to be back here. Like, that's how much I adore him. But he was playing hurt, and it hampered his play.
He didn't perform.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. Thank you for trying to be a hero, but at some point,
exactly.
The minute Tony Pollard went out in the San Francisco game, I said to the people I was watching, I was like, "Well, it's over." Like when Tony broke his leg, I was like, "That's it. Good night. It's been fun."
Yeah.
See you next season.
Yeah, made a very big difference.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bit of depth and stuff now, and there's just nothing that nobody can sit up there and present to me and make people like, oh hell, I want that, unless it's like some offensive line depth or whatever. Where you got one of those veterans that just want to come back and play, a few games out of the season or whatever and get like his little veteran minimum. But outside of that, But anyways, As always, it was fun. I'd like to thank all the listeners listening to the program and stuff. We enjoy and we enjoy all the feedback you've been giving us. We really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time. Go Dallas Cowboys.